So what we have planned for you today is, yes, a presentation about our Solarweb Premium, so a bit of an update of what's happening. So this particular session also has been designed so that you all can ask us questions. So you can ask us during the presentation if you want, or you can ask after. So anything that you have in mind, we can answer this question. So I will then pass it to Pat.
Fantastic, thanks Seb. So yeah, thanks guys, thanks to all of you for taking the time to be here. For those that weren't here at the start or that don't know me, my name's Pat. I'm one of the application engineers with the team, and we've got Seb as well, our sales manager, who will be assisting me with the presentation. So yeah, with the upcoming official launch of Solarweb next month, there's been a few questions coming to us about what the differences are. So today we're going to run you through the different features available in the free version of Solarweb and in the premium version of Solarweb. And for those of you who are on the test version of Solarweb Premium, we'll let you know what the differences are there too. So I'll run through the free version first, and then Seb will take you through the premium version, all right? So we're showing you the web-based view of Solarweb in this presentation. So how do you get there? You head to www.solarweb.com. This is what it will look like when you go to that page. So you log in here at the top right-hand side of the page. So you need a Solarweb account. If you have one, you just enter your details. Otherwise, click the register now button and sign up, all right? So once you're looking at your system in Solarweb, this is what it'll look like. This is what we call the overview page or the dashboard. Note this is the free version, right? So you can see this premium button in the right-hand corner. If you click that, then it'll allow you to go sign up for the premium version. So here you have what we call the bubble chart. So it basically shows the energy flows, you got the grid, your PV system, your loads and battery, if you have one. This is if you have a smart meter installed. If you didn't have a smart meter installed, all you would see is the PV production there, okay? So we also have the energy balance graph here. So the gray bit is what you're taking from the grid. The yellow bit is when you're feeding into the grid. You also have your earnings here. That's calculated based on the tariff settings that you put in. There's also CO2 savings that are calculated there based on your system. And then we also have in this bottom right-hand corner, the weather forecast as well. Okay, and then you can just add a picture for your system, whatever you like. So what I want to show you is the energy balance tab first. So how do you get there? You either click on energy balance here at the top, or you can also click on this graph and it will take you through to this page, all right? So there's two different views. There's the consumption view or the production view, all right? So you click on the tabs to switch between the two views, production and consumption there. And it's basically two different ways of viewing your data, right? So again to note here, you won't see all of these things if you don't have a smart meter. You'd only be seeing what the system is producing. And on this particular system, there's a battery as well, right? So you can see here the shaded gray area is power from grid. The shaded green area is power from the battery. The shaded yellow area is what you're consuming directly from your PV system. You've got a blue line here that says consumption. So that's the total consumption in the production view. And you have the state of charge as a green line. On the consumption view, production is a yellow line to show you the total production. State of charge is again green, and the others are the same. So just two different ways of viewing the data. This is in the day view, the daily view. So you get 5-minute intervals worth of data, right? And you can hover anywhere on the graph at 5-minute intervals, and it'll give you these values, right? The corresponding values. So you can see this data for the free version. You can see 3 days worth of data in the daily view. So right now we're looking at the 19th on this system. You can go back to the previous day, you go back to the previous day, and then if you try again in the free version, what you'll get is this screen, right? So it'll allow you there to click on this button and become a Solarweb Premium member, all right? Now this is for the daily view. If you were to click on month or year, you can go back all the way back to when the system first was commissioned, right, to see the data there, right? So you can still see all that data, just not in the detailed daily view. So here's an example in the month view. And then if I click on year, this is what it would show. So different systems here, just to give you a bit of an example. This one has a battery as well. So yeah, those are the kind of views that you get in the energy balance tab. The next thing I want to show you is the analysis tab. So how do you get there? You click on analysis from the dashboard, and then it'll take you through to this page, the real-time tab page. So basically you can see what the inverter is currently producing, or if you had multiple inverters, they would show up there. And then if you go into history up the top here, you can choose your device. So here it's a SIMO hybrid. And then you can choose various channels or parameters that you want to look at. Now, in the history tab of analysis, you can go back in the daily view all the way back to the start. So it's a bit different there to the energy balance in the free version, that is, right? So that's the daily view there. And you can also go back with the smart meter as well. So if you select energy meter, and then you can select different parameters, and then you can again go back all the way back to when the system was commissioned or when the smart meter was installed as well, right? So that's the daily view there. Then yeah, I'm just showing you here. So here's a date in 2018. So you can go back quite a fair bit back. And then another thing in the analysis tab is this simulation bit at the top. So if you click on simulation, what you can do here is simulate different batteries, right? So you need a smart meter to do this. Basically, it uses the historical data of production and consumption, etc., to simulate the expected self-sufficiency with certain batteries. So you choose the battery that you want to simulate, and then you can basically press simulate, and then it will tell you what the self-sufficiency rate will be with that particular battery for that particular system. So this is great for customers that don't want a battery straight away. You know, they might collect some data, and then when they're ready for a battery, you can use this tool to help them size an appropriate battery. So yeah, it's quite an interesting feature there that a lot of people are finding quite interesting on the installation side. The next thing I want to show you is how to extract data from your PV system into a report, right? So from the dashboard, you click on reports here, and then it'll take you through to this page. You click create new report, and then you can see there's a few different options here. Note that the custom report option is only available for premium users, all right? So not available for the free version. So what you can do is either PV production or energy balance. In this example, I'm going to do PV production. You choose your file format, which is either Microsoft Excel or CSV. You put in your report name. You put in your generation type. So it's either automatic reports or manual reports. So automatic reports means that the reports are sent out automatically at an interval of your choosing. So either monthly, weekly, or daily. In this case, I've chosen monthly. And manual reports are a once-off report, okay? So if you spit out that report for PV production, this is an example of what it could look like. And basically you've got daily sums for the production of each inverter there, all right? So you can see Eco 1, Eco 2, Eco 3, Eco 4, and you have these daily sums for each day for PV production, right? Then looking at the next type of report, the energy balance report. So just a note there, you need a smart meter to do this type of report. So I've selected manual report here just to show you the difference. So with a manual report, you'd have to select a time range or specify a time range or a date range for when you want the report. And then it basically spits out this. So you've got total consumption, total production, your own consumption, so that translates to the consumed directly in the energy balance view, so that's the same type of values, and the energy to grid and the energy from grid. So again, it's daily sums for each day there, okay? Then if you want to get service messages for the free version, you can still receive service messages that are appearing for the system. So to see those service messages, what you do is from the dashboard, you click on service messages up the top here. And then you specify the date range that you want, and it'll show you any service messages that are appearing, right? How do you receive these reports and service messages? So to configure the settings for who receive those, you go to settings from the dashboard up here. And then in contacts, if you click on contacts, you can choose who is going to receive reports and who is going to receive service messages. And you can edit there who's receiving them. And you can also add emails there if you want to make sure somebody's going to receive them. In terms of the manual reports, who receives them? It's basically whoever's logged in at the time. So if you click down on the drop-down menu, you can see basically the account holder there. Whatever that email address is or the username there, that's who the manual report will be sent to when you create it, all right? Another thing I want to show you, you can do remote updates on the free version as well. So again, in settings, you go to components this time, and then you can do remote updates on either the data manager card up here or on the inverter firmware here, all right? So that's another useful thing that you can do with the free version as well. Lastly, another thing that we get asked about a bit is how to access or give access to certain Solarweb accounts. So again, in settings, this time you go to permissions and you can see who has rights or access to the accounts. So supervisors can pretty much do everything except change the owner of the account. And owners obviously have full access of the platform. Guests have very limited access. So here you can add different Solarweb account users. They have to have a Solarweb account to be able to give an access, and that's how you go about it. And then if you wanted to change the owner, you go up to change owner here. Again, it's in settings. You click the change owner tab, and then you can see who the current owner is here. And then you can change it by giving permission to whoever the Solarweb user or account holder that you want to give it to. You just enter it in there and click change owner. And if you want to keep permission or not keep permission for the current owner, you can select that there. So that pretty much brings me to the end of the free version. I'll now hand it over to Seb, who will take you through the premium features.
Thanks, Pat, for this very nice explanation there. So let me present then my screen here. Sorry. All right, so you should be able to see my screen now.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, showing up. All right. Let me turn my pointer on. Ooh. All right. All right, we can already see some questions coming, so we will cover now the Solarweb Premium. We will talk about the cost, we will talk about what are the features which is coming with it. So maybe let's jump straight to this part. So with the Solarweb Premium version, this is the paid version that we are talking about. So here you can see the dashboard, the overview tab. So Pat went through it. It shows, okay, if you have a Fronius smart meter, you will see this bubble graph. So you will see the energy flow. If you have a Fronius smart meter, then we went through all those different tabs. One of the big difference with Solarweb Premium is the energy forecast or the energy yield forecast. So if you look at on the bottom right here, you will see worth of 2 days for the energy forecast. So today it's saying in kilowatt hour how much it should produce, and tomorrow how much energy it should produce. So this is the first thing, the first modification on the main dashboard or on the overview page there. All right, so then if I click on energy balance, then we go back to where Pat shows you where you have the production and the consumption tab. And again, if you have a Fronius smart meter in this page, you will see more than only your power production. So you'll see how much power you're using from the grid, how much power you're pushing to the grid. If you have a battery, you will see how much power you're charging the battery, also the state of charge. But also on the graph here, you will see that it looks a bit different from what Pat showed you. You also see on an increment of 5 minutes your power forecast or your yield forecast. And this will also show on your consumption. It's just a bit of a different, let's say, graphic there. So here is just the surface area of the graph, and here is the dotted lines. And this also will go for the next day. So you will have 2 days worth of energy forecast. So here you can see the date, 19/01/2021, and then from there it's 20/01/2021. So it gives you basically this power forecast, right? Then also now in this particular page where you are in the energy balance, you're under production or consumption. Since let's say the day that we install the system, you can pick whatever day you want. So you can go back to whatever day you want, and you will be able to see the increment of 5 minutes. So you will be able to see those graphs. If you compare that to the free version, you can go back only to 3 days. All right, so that's, I think, the big difference there. And also with the premium version, you can see, let's say, bar graphs when you select the monthly view. And if you select the production tab, you will be able to also see your bar graph of your energy forecast in your production tab. And of course, on the consumption tab, you won't be able to see it, but you have also the bar chart. So one of the big differences that we brought here is basically this energy forecast. What does let's say, what can it help the customer to do is, for example, they can say, okay, tomorrow I know that my system should produce a lot of energy, for example. Maybe tomorrow I should put my washing machine, for example. So those are some advantages that you have with this energy forecast. Also, you will see that there's a return on investment now. So again, you need to make sure that you have it for a smart meter to have those right calculation, I would say. So with the return on investment here, you can see if I select 1 day and I go to the monthly value. So very important step here is you won't be able to see those 2 options if you're not under the month tab. So from there, you see, okay, how much yield, so how much you get paid, for example, there with the amount of power going out, and also how much you save by using the power directly from the solar. So it gives, let's say, a more in-depth information to the customer. Also, we have an expense, a new feature also, which shows the customer, okay, what was the saving, what was the total energy cost, but what's the actual cost that they will need to pay. So how much energy they use directly from the grid, for example. It gives them, let's say, a more in-depth information about how the system is performing, and also looking on the financial side of things, how we can better manage it, for example, on which month, for example, the cost is higher. So it gives them more in-depth information. Then again, we can go to the analysis tab. That's where you can select any devices which is on this system. So click on history and then on the device that you want to have a look. Then here, if you have it for the smart meter, again, you will have this energy balance now showing up here. On this particular graph, you have, let's say, you can choose what you want to see. Compared to the other one, you have a lot of information which are overlaid. Here you can say, okay, I just want to see power from my battery, if you have a battery, or you can say, okay, I want to see power to the grid or my PV production. So here, let's say you can select what you want to see. And again, there's no limitation in terms of how much you can go or how long you can go backward. It's basically, since the system has been installed, you have all the information there. So that's also the premium feature which comes with the analysis. Then the next part is the reports. So here now you will be able to create custom report. What does this mean is also you will have more channels. So you can again dig more in let's say details of the inverter. So you can see, okay, how much current my system let's say is producing. You can also see how much energy each tracker is doing on the inverter. What's your voltage on the AC? So you can do a similar report, I would say, in terms of the data sources here, where you can get, let's say, a sum, an average sum for the day, or you can get detailed value. So that's also the difference between the premium and the free version. So here you can get 5 minutes increment. And then from there was a question. You can also do a graph from there, because you will have all the 5 minute increment. Then you can create automatic or monthly if you want. You will also have more options, so you can select the meter, you can select energy balance to get more in-depth information. So that's the, let's say, one of the main differences. Then also, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have Google Assistant or Amazon Alexa, or even use Siri, for example. So one new feature that you will have with the Solarweb Premium is also Amazon Alexa. So for example, if you have an Alexa device, you can ask Alexa, for example, how much ask Solarweb how much energy my system currently produces. And there's a lot of different questions that you can ask, and it will basically answer all those questions. So here you can see the differences between let's say the free version and the premium version. So this is just to start with. There will also be new features coming, and definitely with those new features, some of those database comes from third parties, so that's why there will be a cost involved. And when we talk about cost, the pricing is $39 per year, or $99 for 3 years, for example. So now let's look at the summary there, right? Because some of you there, I'm pretty sure you have customers who sign in for the premium test, right? Let's say the premium that we had before. So here we'll do a comparison what you can do and what you can't do, and basically the options for the customer. All right, let's look at the first one, the free version. You guys have seen from past presentation. It shows you all the information that you can have. One of the difference is, yes, you can't do, let's say, custom reports with the free version. You don't have a return on investment. You don't have a yield and cost overview. You don't get the production forecast and some of the weather widget, but also you can only see daily production and consumption value curves. This is the important part. It's just the curve that you can see 3 days, but the bar chart you can see since the system has been installed. So that's one of the big difference. In terms of premium, I went through it. So you can do practically everything. You have your return on investment, you have your yield and cost forecast, you have your PV production forecast, you have Amazon, and also there will be additional features which will come also with that. Now, you also have seen that some customers out there already have this premium test, which basically was a testing pilot. So with this particular one, it's similar to the premium. The only thing is that with the test premium, the one that you guys have right now, you don't have this PV production forecast. You don't have this weather widget, and you won't have those additional future, let's say, features with Solarweb Premium. The thing is, we are allowing everyone who has been on the premium test to stay on the premium test if they want. There's no cost involved. You can keep it as is. If, for example, a customer, when we launch the premium paid version, they said, okay, I am on a premium test, I want to go on premium, they can't go back to premium test. They can't cancel their memberships and say, okay, I want to go to the premium test. If, for example, the customer right now has a free Solarweb platform at the moment, right? And we launch the premium, they won't have the option to go to premium test, because we will delete that as soon as we launch the premium paid version. The premium test won't be available anymore. The only option for new customers is either they stay to free or they go to the premium paid version. So I think for all your customers who had signed up for the premium test, you don't need to worry about it. They're already covered. They can just keep it as is. For the new customers, you can see what's the difference there. I think there's a lot of values with the premium paid version. You have a lot of features, and again, it won't stop there. We will add more features with the platform, and I'm pretty sure there will be some questions about it, why we charge about this particular let's say feature with our monitoring platform. So basically, there's third-party databases that is involved, and of course, when you manage data, there's more cost involved, and that's why it's an additional cost that we need to consider. So maybe let's go and take some questions now. Here, I'm pretty sure there should be a few. There was already a few before. All right, so there was a question if this session will be recorded. Yes, it will be recorded, so you guys can share that with your team. And if you have any question, you can ask us, or if your team has any question, I will type the email address that you can send your question to if you want. So there is one question: what sort of display do you get in an off-grid system with, say, a Primo AC coupled to SP Pro? So in this situation, if you have a Primo, for example, with a Selectronics inverter, so in this case, usually you will only have the PV production. That's what you will see. You don't have a meter, so you don't see really energy flow like that, but you will be able to see your PV production. We can also, if, for example, you sign up for the premium, you will be able to see for example, the weather forecast. So I think it will also give you some information there. So in terms of cost, I think we covered it. So what's the difference between the premium versions? So you guys can see it. All right, there's a question, so which I think is quite a good question. So what's the difference between an owner, supervisor, and guest? Can you talk a bit about the difference and who would you set up in the system? So just on my side, I would rather have the installer as the owner, because you guys do all the monitoring setup. So it's better that you add it to your account. So you're the owner of a system, and then you can give supervisor right to the customer. But then there was this question where they say, okay, what's the difference between owner, supervisor, and guest? Basically, owner and supervisor can see the same thing. So I will just go back a few slides here. Yes, here. So if you look at this page, if you have guest rights, you will only be able to see those first three tabs. So that's the difference. My recommendation is usually give supervisor rights in general. All right. Next one is, can we get a proper video link for this through which we can share with the customer? We will have this webinar available. We have also the summary table below it, but it's something that we can check for you if we can, for example, create something very specific for end users. Definitely. All right, there is a good question from Luke. How many different Fronius login are there? Solarweb, SOS, and Partners Web. There's basically, usually with your Solarweb account, you should be able to use it on multiple platforms. But there's a bit of migration, so we can get back to you on this one, Luke, just to be precise with all our apps. What's the different login? So usually you use the same login for all of them.
Had one from Green Guys Solar. If we as an installed company want to monitor new customer systems on Solarweb, do we need to buy the new premium once only, or for each new customer on our account? So the premium will be linked to the account that you're using. So if you're monitoring several systems, then yeah, you'll just use the one account.
And also maybe we need to add this part with so you all we are pretty sure that all the installers will sign up for the Solarweb paid version, and you will have this weather forecast feature. This weather forecast feature is only for one system, not for all the system on your Solarweb account. It will be only for one system. So that's also a point that we should add. There's a good question. Can you download a solar generation report or of a portfolio rather than side by side? Yes, definitely something that we are working on, Sajid. So definitely we'll be able to give a bit more updates as soon as international, works a bit on it, I would say. if the customer wants the premium, and how does he buy it, should we need to contact you? Okay, so if they want to buy for the premium, if they just click on the link or on the square that Pat showed. So I will just quickly go back to this slide there. So you see there are premiums icon here, so we can click on this Solarweb premium member now. Just going to go here. So we just click on this. Yeah, so they can click on whichever one they want. It will bring them to our web shop where they can just purchase it if they want. All right.
Is there a lifetime premium subscription? Not at this point that I know of.
Yes, not at this stage. So the maximum is 3 years. It's something that we've been looking into. I'm not sure what you guys think about it, but yeah, feedback about this. If all of you think that it is a good idea, please let us know. There's also a good question here. So can an installer have just one premium account and view all their customer site using Solarweb Premium? Yes. So for example, let's say Pat is a customer, I'm the installer. So I can create reports, all the let's say custom report that I want on his system. I can go into energy balance and look at all the data if I have the premium account. The only thing is with my premium account as an installer, I can select only one to have this weather forecast. Then the rest, I have the Solarweb Premium, all the benefits which comes with that, or all the features that comes with the Solarweb Premium. I have it for all my system on my account. So the test, so also there's a good question there. How long does a test premium that users have signed up for last moving forward? So there will be a date in our communication, but from, yeah, I think it was like saying 30 years, but I think I need to check this one again, Jem there. But in general, whoever signing for that, they should get it, I think for a lifetime, but I need to double check this. I don't think there's any stopping date for the test premium, but you can't register for a test premium as soon as we launch the premium paid version. It will just stop by this date. Good question here. Can we update firmware for batteries using Solarweb as we can for the DM card and the inverter? So with this one, you can't update. If like for any inverter, you can't update the batteries. Usually, right now the possibilities is with BYD. And if you have a BYD battery, you need to use the app to update the battery, so you can't do it via Solarweb.
Got one here. How can he see the feed-in tariff? So if you go to settings and then tariffs, you can put in those settings there. I think that's what you're asking, if I follow correctly.
Yeah. So the feed-in tariff settings. Yeah. And I'm not sure also if you guys have seen this, but in the actual feed-in tariffs, or where you put your tariffs, you can set times, for example, different times. I think they call it shoulder tariff. So for example, you can say from 10 to 12, it's this particular tariff. From 12 to I don't know, 2 p.m. is the different tariff. So you can set that in the settings, and then from there you will see tariff there. Is monthly PV production forecast possible rather than 2 days? how are you calculating the forecast production without PV array configuration? That's a very, very good question. So you will need, when you set up these particular features, you will need to know the PV array configuration. So you will need to say, okay, your panels face which direction. Monthly PV production, I think that's something which is not really possible. We're using a third-party database to get this information. Even on your phone, you won't get weather forecast more than like 2 days, 2 weeks, I think a week, I think on your phone. So having more than 2 days, I think is a bit of a challenge. But the calculation, definitely you will need to enter your PV array configuration. Okay, good question from Amanda. Will it be possible to create the owner's account and add permission without them validating it first? At the moment, not really. So we need to validate the email when they create an account, same as all the features. But what we are trying to do is when, for example, you go to settings, you want to give permission to the customer, that the customer doesn't need to create an account before you can add them. So for example, let's take another example. Let's say Pat is the installer. I'm the customer. I didn't do anything yet. I have my my email address. So Pat can enter my email address there. And then from there, I will receive an email saying, hey, please register an account. But this is not there yet. It's something that we are trying to plan in our Solarweb platform. It's something which is in discussion as an idea.
The free version can be done by all users. Yes, the free version is available for everyone. Correct.
Is there any issue doing updates remotely? Pat covered that. Yes, you can do all the updates remotely, so all good. Presentation, you will get the presentation, the recording, and the slides. Quick question, how can we view weather access for more than one system? You won't be able to do it. So for example, the only way would be maybe that the customer share his information with you, his login information, or we can have a look. But I think that's a really good point there, Jem. If you want to see like different system, that's like a feedback we can take on board.
When will it be launched? It will be launched next month, so in February.
Yeah, I think on the 2nd, if I'm not wrong, but we can check the due dates. I can see that we have a few comments about doing some trainings on Solarweb. We have a webinar, how to use Solarweb, but it's more for installers. Maybe we should do one for the customer. So I think that's something that we can take on board, Pat, and something that we can definitely work on.
Yeah.
Can you guys please share your proper email addresses with us? So if you want our direct email address, please email us on this email that I will send to everyone. At Fronius.com. So those are basically the application engineers look after this queue, but just ask for Pat or Seb. It's going to be easier, I would say, this way. Oops, I just went completely back up there. Okay, so phase one, which is basically, is the extended warranty still available? Yes, it is still available. Anyone can register for it if you want. So this is still on the offer.
I had one here saying, I believe I'm on. Sorry, Seb, you continue.
No, you go.
I was just going to say there's one here saying, I believe I am on premium. Will this continue or deactivate unless paid for? So I think you're on the premium test version, so that will continue. If you want to upgrade to the full premium version that's getting released next month, you can do that. So that's a paid subscription. Once you do that, as Seb was saying, you won't be able to go back to this version that you have right now, okay?
Yes, that's right. Can we share the links to customers? I think for the recording, yes, if you want to share the links, that's good. There is quite a technical one where, okay, so this one is saying, is there a way to update tariff that reduces after a certain amount of export? So for example, 15 feed-in tariff for the first 5 kilowatt export, 8 cents for every kilowatt exported after that. Now you can only do it by time, so not by kilowatt hours, and also it should be kilowatt hours, I would say. Yeah. So there's one question. What happened to the membership if an inverter is replaced for some reason? So the membership stays with basically the email address that you registered for it. So if you change inverters or there's replacement inverters, it will stay within the actual account itself.
Is there any issue doing updates remotely? So sometimes if there's firewall settings on the customer's network, potentially that could hinder it, or with older firmware issues, firmware versions, that might be the only case. Seb, can you think of any other instances where?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Otherwise, no, it's quite a simple process.
That's a good question. Do all installers accounts that already have premium receive all the new benefits without paying extra for the new premium, or are we automatically up to date with the new features when they roll out? So for the installers, still your decision if you want to upgrade or not. But at the moment, it will be applied for everyone has the same choice in a way. So it's either you upgrade for the new one with all the features or not. But we are more than welcome to get if you guys have feedback for us in terms of that for sure. There's a question, I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that, but you said, how can we change the voltages if we want 4 grid volt fault? If you need to change settings, grid settings of the inverter, you need to contact our PV support guys. They will give you a code to allow you to change the settings. But again, you need to check with the DNSP if you're allowed to do it. Okay, I think we have quite a good feedback. We have one of, I think, good point from Frank saying we should include a premium version for a lifetime so that installers can quote to the customer with this particular pricing. So we'll take that definitely. Any update on remote configuration, change like country setup, grid settings, data manager config? We are working on it. So with our Gen 24, we are, I would say, a step closer to that. So you still need to enable the setting on the inverter, but for example, we are Gen 24, we are a bit closer to this goal where we want to change settings remotely. If they purchase the premium, can they log in on their computer or mobile phones, yes, if you have this login, you can log in on whichever device you want, and you will have all the access, all the premium access stays with the email address. Good one from Amanda. Will there be information to pass on to customers? I have seen a new app on iOS and it displays differently. Definitely there will be new information. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have heard that we have 3 different apps, or 3 new apps. So one is basically called Solar Start, which is to commission the inverter. So those are more for installers. There will be one for our Solarweb platform, so you can see that the view and some of the graphics is a bit different, so we are working on a different solution. And the third one is our SOS platform, also is going to change, so pretty interesting. All right. I am already a premium member on Solarweb. Do I still need to get the new subscription? Up to you if you want to get it or not. You can see all the extra feature that you get with the Solarweb premium paid version. So I would say, yeah, you guys can, you decide which one you want to go. But the only thing is, as soon as you go to the premium paid, you can't go back to the premium free. And the premium free won't be available as soon as we launch the Solarweb premium paid. There is a question: can FSP Plus offer paid premium at a lower rate to their customer? For Fronius Service Partner and Fronius Service Partner Plus, it's not set yet, but up to, for conversation for sure. We can have a discussion about it. What about Solarweb Pro? Solarweb Pro won't be continued, so any customer who has the Solarweb Pro, this particular app won't get updated anymore. So it's basically at its maximum. So there's nothing else that we're going to add on the Solarweb Pro. So everything will be with a new app. Okay, some feedback maybe for us, but can we arrange a training for how to set up a Wi-Fi, please? Definitely, we will put that on the agenda. Definitely, it's something that we can do. We can also do that virtually, I think, so it will be very helpful.
Will weather forecasts be available for more than one system at any point? At this stage, I don't know of the plans for that. Seb, have you heard anything on that regard?
For the moment, it's only one system. Even if for example, you're an installer, you have Solarweb Premium paid, you will be able to see one system only for the weather forecast. Good question here. Can we get to choose which system get the weather forecast? Yes, you will select, let's say you have 10 or 100 system, you will choose whichever one you want to have this feature. All right. Okay, there's a good question. Consider people move houses, which means new owners with existing will have to sign up for the same inverter for full monitoring. I'm not sure what you mean by full monitoring, but the way that we look at that, the free version has quite a lot of data with it. But if the new customer wants to get the weather forecast, then yes, definitely they will need to sign up. If they want the free version, that will be available also. I think it would be good also from you guys to give us some feedback. What do you think about each option? Because I think at start of last year, we started to talk about the Solarweb Premium. We got feedback from you guys, so we changed a bit the plan. So, for example, all your previous customers already on this premium, they don't need just like it's really up to them if they want to sign up for the new one. But yeah, it would be good to get a bit of feedback if you guys have, for sure.
Had a good one here. Can you download solar generation report of a portfolio rather than site by site? So as I understand, you mean multiple sites at once. So right now it's just the system that you're logged into. So it is site by site. We are working on, doing stuff to make it easier for fleet management. So we'll definitely take that feedback on board.
Yes, definitely it's planned to have that in the one that Pat just mentioned. So that's going to be, again, those extra features that we are working on. All right, looks like there's not a lot of questions there. If we miss your question, guys, please email our PV solution queue. I sent the email before to all of you guys, but it doesn't look like there's any questions. I don't think we missed anything there.
Just scrolling through as well. I think, yeah, we've got it.
Okay, there is I think there's still a few coming. Will all users' accounts on Solarweb be notified of the launch of paid premium? And we need to check this one again, but I'm pretty sure we will send the notification to our Solarweb, to all our Solarweb users, and tell them what's the difference also between all, but I need to check this one. But if you can just send us an email, we will definitely get back to you on this one with the PV solution queue. Okay, there's another question. Why do installers pay for premium? Other companies gives their installers full access, no charge. For us, the charge that we see for an installer is very minimal, but definitely we'll take this as a feedback and something that we can tell our colleagues at Fronius International about this particular one. But you can see that you will have quite a lot of different, let's say, features to show the customers also. And one thing I think that we didn't mention, yes, there's a charge with the new Solarweb Premium, but I'm not sure if you guys have also seen that we also enable features, extra features for free to you guys. For example, the one that Pat mentioned, the battery simulation, this is basically in some of the presentation that we showed before. This is another step for you guys also to get back in touch with the customer, to sell a battery, for example, to do energy management. So we are trying to add as much as we can to the best capability that we can. So again, we're trying to add more values in the platform. And as mentioned also, with all those data management, there's a cost involved, but we're trying to make sure that we try not to pass a lot to you guys. Of course, we always make our best there, but a lot of people ask us, okay, we want these different features, so there's always a cost involved with extra features, for example. So definitely we'll take your feedback on board, and we'll have a chat with the guys in the office to see what can be done there.